We're back again with another episode of the Seven Voice Podcast. I'm your host, Azeez. Today I have a very special guest with me, someone that is definitely going to be a part of my journey in this country, because I remember the first time I met him, how I knew him and everything. I'm going to make some introduction, but I'm very sure he's going to be the person to introduce himself better. I have today Osita. Osita is the founder of Nigerian IT Professionals in Canada, also known as NIPCA. He's also the founder of Black Tech. He's a member of Forbes Business Council, and he has done a lot of things in our community in this country. And I'm happy to have him here today. Thank you so much, Mr. Osita.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Azeez.
As I said, I can introduce you, but obviously you'll be the one to tell my audience more about who you are. Who is Osita?
Yeah, thank you. Nice to catch up again, right?
Yes,
after
it's been a very long time.
after quite some time. Yeah, so Osita is I would say I'm a social entrepreneur, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been in the tech space for more than 2 decades, right? More than 20 years now in the tech space. Originally I wanted to become a medical doctor.
Oh, every one of them. Every one of us want to be that.
Yeah. When you are young and you've got your parents, back home. Parents most times, they want their kids to become either doctors, lawyers, or engineers.
Yeah.
If not any one of these ones, then in their mind, no, you've not started yet.
Exactly, you're not doing the right thing.
Yeah, so that was the thought process too, right? So, and for me, I also love medicine. Back in school, then I was also good with sciences. And, I actually wanted to become a medical doctor as well. But when I wrote JAM, what we call JAM back home.
That exam.
I wrote
that
the
exam.
Kind of entry-level exam into university. And I got 282. Meanwhile, the cutoff for medical students in the university that I wanted to get into was 292.
Oh my goodness.
So just 10 mark, right? Just 10 mark difference. So at that point, I was just thinking about it. Should I wait for another year?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Or I should just take anything that comes right away and hit the ground running.
Yes.
I spoke with an uncle of mine that told me about computer science. And, then I was thinking that computer science is like those guys that fix hardware, fix laptop.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, how would I be doing this?
Yes.
So he now told me about the opportunities and all those stuff. And that was when I realized that, this is something that I'll probably want to go into. And that was it. I get into computer science, finished. The moment I graduated, I started working as a business analyst, consulting with IBM and several other ventures that I've gotten into. So it's been an interesting journey. But right now, what my life is really focusing on right now is about supporting others, helping others to navigate, especially those that are struggling, those that are trying to, get there, those that are trying to reskill, upskill, immigrants, newcomers, professionals generally that are not earning good money, right? How can we help them to upskill? How can we help them? That's exactly what I've really spent the couple of years now focusing on. Yeah.
And, you mentioned that your goal is to help people, people that want to get to go through what you've gone through and how they can get there, not only faster, but effectively and efficiently, right?
Yeah.
And that was how I met you. Because today I'm into real estate business. I'm more of a business person.
Yeah.
But I used to work in IT as well.
Yeah.
So I was a data scientist, and that was how I met you. And I remember that time. That was in end of 2019, beginning of 2020.
Yeah.
The community you were able to build with people, with more of people from our own country, Nigeria, but other African countries, even other part of the world, like Indians and every other thing, are even in that group.
Absolutely.
Even though it was called Nigerian IT Professionals in Canada,
yeah,
it's more of like anyone that wants to just be in that community of IT, wherever you come from, even though we focus more on immigrants. The idea of NIPCA, because it was a very vibrant community at that time, it was what helped a lot of us.
And still vibrant.
It was, yeah, exactly. It was what helped a lot of us get into succeed in IT in Canada.
Yeah.
Even some of us that have been in IT before then, or people that are trying to get into it, you have mentorship program. Even some of us end up volunteering and helping the community.
Yeah.
Where does that idea come from? Like, I need to have a community of Nigerian IT professionals in Canada.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. So for me, when it was time for us to, immigrate to Canada, right? With all the experience, I thought it's going to be easy. Like, once I come in here, the job is there, everything is all settled. But when I came in, I realized that the environment here is different.
It's different.
Even with all the experience, you still need to understand the environment. Yeah. You still need to find a way to navigate through, the initial challenges that newcomers typically face. And I experienced that as well. In fact, as a matter of fact, within the first month in Canada, I was already telling my wife and kids we will be going back home. Yes, because you apply for jobs and you are getting rejection emails all the time.
You don't have Canadian experience. That's the slogan.
So how do I get the experience if you don't give me a chance?
Yes.
So we have a lot of challenges that I personally faced. And while facing this challenge, I was also thinking about community. Are there people that look like me that could support my journey? What about mentorship, right? Are there people that can understand where I'm coming from and understand my story?
Exactly.
Right? Because, for example, one of the community centers that I visited when I came, they told me that your resume have to be 2 pages. And guess what? I came with a 9-page resume. In fact, what I call it is CV. I came with a 9-page CV. How do I reduce it from 9 pages to 2 pages? Yeah. Now I've done so many projects, so many stuff, and I felt that I needed a community, people that will understand. But eventually I got a job. When I got my first job, I realized that, okay, it's not just about me. There are so many other people like me that are experiencing the challenges that I had experienced.
Exactly.
So what do? Do we continue to complain or find solution? So for me, it's about solution. That was what gave birth to NIPCA, Nigerian IT Professionals in Canada. Get people together so that we can support one another, right? That was the vision. So initially it was about Nigerians, but as we grow, it became obvious that there are so many people that we are interested in what we are doing. So today we've got, professionals from all walks of life in the community, supporting one another, and of course providing support, mentorship, job referrals, and so many other things to help, new immigrants and newcomers to actually, get a very good job. Yeah.
You mentioned something that you see the what you went through when you moved here, and you realize you need to do something to help others. Now, NIPCA has not only grown, it has also given birth to another part of your business, which is what is on your shirt, Black Tech. How are you being able to make these two organizations to align with the same goal? What's Black Tech in this place?
Yeah, I mean, that's a very good question. So Black Tech today is the leading tech ecosystem in Canada that focuses on supporting immigrants, professionals, helping them to upskill, reskill, and of course, supporting them to launch promising careers in tech. Okay. And the vision around Black Tech came based on the work we started with NIPCA. Yeah. So as we are doing all the work, supporting the community, it's dawned on me and my team that what we are doing wasn't enough. Because there are categories of these immigrants that really wants to do something different.
Exactly.
There are people that resume support, interview support are not enough. They need to reskill. Maybe somebody coming from marketing or pharmacy that want to get into IT.
You need to learn.
It's not just about resume for them now. They need to acquire skills. So, and one of the challenges I saw is that some of them do training out there, but they'll come back to the community still asking for support. I'm like, oh, you've done training. How come support cannot be provided? So that was what gave birth to Black Tech. So we wanted to do something different. We wanted to create an ecosystem that focuses on developing practical, hands-on programs, right? Because the reality these days is that if you want to become a tech professional, it's not just about theories. You need to have the hands-on experience. So that was the vision for us, develop what we call work integrated learning. So you are learning at the same time doing what you are supposed to do. So by the time you are done with the training, then plus support, you will be ready for the job market, right? So that was the vision for Black Tech. And today, we've trained more than 10,000 professionals.
That's amazing.
Over 10,000 as of today, with over 60 workforce, including instructors, mentors, career coaches, career success team, program team, more than 60 workforce today, and more than 30 strategic partnerships, including Microsoft, Amazon, Google, RBC Bank, BMO, name it.
That's really, you've mentioned some names that are really like leaders in both tech, financial sector, fintech, and everything. And you've been able to achieve this basically because of the community. But I know for you to get in front of all these big companies you mentioned now, there must be challenges that you went through.
Absolutely.
In not only bringing NIPCA to where it is, and then letting NIPCA give birth to Black Tech. What are the challenges that you face in navigating through all this? You know where you want to go. You know what you want to create. But there will be challenges that will come your way. What are the ones that you think you remember, and how are you able to kind of solve some of them?
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy. Social entrepreneurship is not easy, especially when you are starting out, you are bootstrapping. You pretty much rely on volunteers at the initial stages to help, move the needle of some of the things you intend to do. And you and I know, volunteering is not easy.
It's not easy. Yeah.
A volunteer can wake up tomorrow and say, I'm not doing it again. So, there are cases like that where you have to juggle multiple things. At some point, I was also responsible for social media.
Wow.
I was doing graphic, where I have to do the graphic design and actually have to post, engage with people as well.
Exactly.
So there were a lot of things I had to do to ensure that we are moving forward. So that is really one of
What about the collaboration with these companies? Were you, because, I honestly right now, I don't want to talk about, as a Black person, you can't achieve anything. I know with seeing someone like you, a lot of other, people of color in this country achieve a lot. But however, we can't ignore the fact that sometimes it might be tough for you to get all this, C-level executive to even skin this vision.
Yeah.
Do you face that challenges when you were kind of talking to these companies?
Absolutely. The challenges are there. There are so many challenges. I talked about resources, which ties into volunteers, challenges, right? Then, of course, you talk about partnership, because the kind of work we want to do, the vision that we set out is to see how we can support 100,000 professionals by 2030. By 2030. And that vision is still there. For us to achieve something substantial, we have to partner. Exactly. It's about collaboration. But again, to collaborate, you now face challenges where some organizations, probably maybe they don't know much about you. You find out that you probably need somebody that needs to do an introduction, for you to be able to get a foot in the door, to begin to speak about the work you do. So we have those kind of challenges, right? But one thing that we've always focused on was, is to deliver value. That's what we focused on. So consistently we've delivered programs, master classes, conferences. By so doing, organizations and companies are hearing about us. Okay. So when we approach them, it's not going to be, we've not heard about you anymore. It's a case of, really, Black Tech. So they have heard about Black Tech, and now they can have conversation with us. So I think it's becoming a little bit easier now than when we started.
When you started. So I have about 2-3 other questions I want to ask, but the one I want to just ask for your own opinion. You came into this country probably 5-6 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. And you know the challenges you faced there. You know how NIPCA has been able to help a lot of people. I know a lot of my own friends that I've introduced to NIPCA, and they're able to learn, they're able to get value from it. And then Black Tech, what do you think have changed in terms of the tech industry especially for people in Canada, but especially for immigrants? Do you see more of help and support and more of a, even if it's going to be government, trying to help people that just come into the country, especially tech? Did you see that as improved, or you think it's still a little bit similar to when you first came in?
Yeah, I think generally I would say there has been some improvements.
Okay.
When we came in, that's about 7 years ago now, right? Things were pretty very, very tough at that time compared to now, because then there are no communities. There might be community, but there are. What I mean is that it's difficult to see communities where you can get the kind of support that are available right now. As I speak right now, apart from the NIPCA community, the Black Tech community, there are so many other communities too, right? That immigrants are able to, get into, find support, and find value.
What does community mean to you?
Community, to me, is about belonging.
Okay.
It's about belonging, a place where, like, you want to be with your tribe, right? People that look like you, people that speak like you, right? People that can, hang out with you without you trying to speak in a different way. You want to just speak, be yourself.
Exactly. You want to be yourself. You want to be in a place where, you don't feel like, do I belong here?
That's right.
And it might be, as you said, tribe, it might be color, it might not even be any of that. It might be someone that have the same vision like you.
Yeah.
Or someone that is going towards the kind of growth you're looking for as well.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. So that is it. Once there's the alignment, of vision or alignment of purpose or alignment, that is community. So you just want to be in a place where, like a vulnerable space. That is the essence of what we are building, where people can actually exchange ideas, share banters, jokes, crack jokes, without feeling maybe somebody's going to be offended by the way you speak or the way you behave. So that is really what we are trying to do, because in a country like Canada, for instance, depression is high in this country.
And people don't talk about it.
People don't talk much about it.
People don't talk about it like there's depression. So it's kind of looked at, you look at it like, what is causing that? And even in our community, like the immigrant, the Black community, the amount of depression that is there, it's just that people don't talk about it because they don't want to feel like, oh, you're here, you have to survive. However, at what cost? What are you giving up? Do you find people that make you feel like you belong here? You understand what I mean? So I think the term community is a place where everything that could get you closer to that kind of depression can be kind of avoided and everything.
Yep.
You've talked about your goal of 2030, educating or helping about 100,000 people. But apart from this goal, where do you see Black Tech in the next 5 years? Because our neighbors here, the United States, they have a lot of all these kind of communities as well there, right? And the country is, even though Canada is bigger, there are more people in the state than here. However, as you said, collaborating with big banks here, big companies here, where do you see Black Tech in 5 years in terms of even international collaboration?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good one. As I speak to you right now, we already have a location in Texas, right? And we've got a country rep in Texas. So because part of our strategic move in 2024 is to expand into Europe and also US, right? So already we are making plans. For the one of UK, we've already had a couple of sessions, a couple of meetings as well, and gradually we're going to be identifying a country rep, someone that is going to be strategically focused on, extending the vision over there. But in the US, we've already gotten an office as well. We have a country rep in US, and even in our programs right now, we have so many people coming from US participating in our programs as we speak.
That's amazing.
So it's a global vision. And what we intend to do as we make progress by next year, we're also going to be moving into Africa as well, right? So because there's so many demand of our services and support in Africa as well. So many people trying to come over here, and sometimes some of them don't realize they need to upskill before coming, right? So you find out that a new immigrant comes into this country, he finds it difficult to get a good job.
Exactly.
And some of them are ill-prepared. because the focus is Japa. I just want to move.
I just want to move, right?
Right?
They forget the part of, bringing themselves up to where you're going to be. I don't want to ask this question, but now that you mentioned that, because a lot of our, especially from our country, when they move here, what you created now should be able to let them know that, hey, don't have the mindset that, oh, they don't like you, they don't like immigrants. What do you have? What are you bringing? Because a lot of people that move to this country, just because Canada give you PR or work permit, doesn't mean they are waiting for you. You have to meet Canada, and I mean Canadians, because there are people in the job market in the country already that are born here, that are from here. You have to bring something to be able to let the market say, no, that's talent. That's talent. And I think that's exactly what you're doing, but letting people understand that mindset of Canada is not waiting for you. You have to meet Canada.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Example is Ontario. We are currently in Ontario, right? And what is the motto of the Ontario? Yours to discover.
Yes, exactly. So
right?
discover it.
So definitely, what the country is telling you that you got to discover things.
Exactly.
So it's not like everything is all prepared for you to just come in
and get started.
You have to come in and begin to navigate and begin to discover.
Exactly.
Right? So that is one thing with the environment we find ourselves, and that is why what we are doing is really pivotal, in helping immigrants, in helping professionals, because people are different. There are people that prepare before they set out for any journey. While there are some that their focus is just to leave the shores of the country. They just want to come in first, right? So once they get in there, they start to figure things out. And guess what? I've seen professionals that said to me, I have been in Canada for 5 years.
Wow.
5 years, nothing much to show for it. 5 years, has not been able to purchase a property. 5 years still working survival jobs. 5 years still, struggling.
Don't you think it's information?
It is information, and
or
also
not opening your mind to get that information.
Yeah, there are a lot of factors, right? So for some, it could be that they have the information,
but they are comfortable where they are.
Thank you. Probably just stay in their comfort zone.
Yeah.
There are people like that, right? They are comfortable, the paycheck to paycheck, and they're praying for when miracle is going to happen, right? But there are people that are highly motivated. They have seen the information and they're wrong with it. Because most times it's not about information, it's what do you do with the information.
Yes.
You might have information, but you've not really done anything with it. Then it's as good as not having the information.
I remember...
It's about execution.
Exactly. I remember when I joined NIPCA, I have a CV, obviously. I used to work in Dubai. I live in Dubai before I moved here.
Yeah.
I have my resume, right, that I thought was perfect. But when I came to Canada, I was in IT, looking for a job. Even though I got the job by myself, from NIPCA, but there is one part of NIPCA that I will never forget. I'm not going to even act like, oh, I got my job. My resume. I remember, one of the people that you partnered me with at that time, he just tweaked my resume, and within 1 month, I started getting interviews, and I'm like, wait a minute, the same thing I have on the other resume is what I have on this new resume. But the words, the wording, the structuring of the resume. Because when people come into this country, they don't believe that a little bit of tweaking of even the way you talk, the way you reply things, is what will unlock that thing for you. We've talked about all what you've been doing with NIPCA, how amazing the community is, what you've been doing with Black Tech as well, your own journey. 2 questions that I have. One of them is, I'm just starting it on my podcast, the second question, and you will be the first person that I'm going to start it with. The second one will be, how can people be a part of Black Tech and NIPCA community? Because a lot of people will listen to this or watch this.
Yeah.
I've been able to bring a lot of people to the community.
Yeah.
How can they get into Black Tech, especially before moving to Canada? Because I think that's another important part. You don't need to wait till you move in before, like, I need to join NIPCA now. You could be getting that information, you could be part of that community before you come in. So when you come in, it's just going to be like, I know a lot of things about this community. How can they get part of it?
Yeah, so, it's very easy. To join NIPCA communities, just check the website, www.nipca.ca. NIPCA.ca. Once you go there, there's a membership form. Click on the form, complete the form, then you get automatic link to join the community.
Anywhere you are, you don't have to be inside Canada yet.
Anywhere you are, as long as you are a tech professional or aspiring tech professional, exactly. And you're also someone that is big on supporting others, because we really encourage professionals that are able to come in to not just benefit from the community, but also give back to the community as well. So if you're big on that, if you're big on tech or tech enthusiasts, and you also, love sharing, supporting others, then join in. Okay. Then for Black Tech as well, you can also be part of the Black Tech community by going on the website as well. So we have the www.blacktechacademy.ca. blacktechacademy.ca. Once you go in there, there's also a form that says membership form or community. No, not membership form, community. It's called community. A tab called community. Complete the form, and you also get a link to join. Okay. So pretty much easy, right? Easy. Go to the website, you'll be able to join us. Yeah.
The other part that I said I want to ask you is, if you want to look back at your career, your life, over the last, I don't want to mention your age, over the last many years you've been with us this world, if you have to mention two people, either dead or alive, two people that you see as mentor, and why? Who are those two people? They might be in tech, they might not be in tech.
Yeah, so for me, looking at my life, I've been on earth for 4 decades plus now, right? And my first mentor, I would say, is my mom. Okay. Her blessed memory. My mom was an entrepreneur, right? An entrepreneur par excellence. When I was about 7 years, right, I was already working closely with her, right, in her entrepreneurial business. Right, she's got a business, and whenever I come back from school, I will have to meet her in the shop. Begin to understand the need for hard work. Right, you got to work hard in order to actually make money, but not just also working hard, but also understanding strategy. Right? Okay, this item is about to finish, or you don't wait for it to finish before you buy another one. So there were a lot of strategies that I really understood, working closely with her, and that really helped me. That shaped my life, in the work I do today. Entrepreneurship is not easy. It's not for the faint-hearted, really. So, but for me, I would say I've gotten very strong foundation over the years through the work, and the legacies that my mom have actually, bequeathed on me. Then the second person I will also say, I would say my first boss. My first boss as well, when I finished school then, I did NYSC. That was First Logic. That was a company called First Logic in Ikeja, Lagos. In Nigeria. The guy's name is Chima Nwankwo. Very, 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 great guy. He is into tech consulting, tech training, and also, tech implementations for banks and so many other companies. So it was while working with him that I really understood the aspect of the different areas in tech. And also how to, thank you, and how to develop programs to meet the need of people. Wow. Right? So like what we are doing in Black Tech today, people are like, oh, Black Tech has just been there for like 3 years plus. But as I speak right now, we've got over 13 programs, fully developed, functional, and over 10,000 professionals. So sometimes people will be like, how did you do this? So right? How is this happening? So, there have been a lot of learning over the years. And that is why I keep saying to anyone, wherever you find yourself, whatever you are doing, it might not be what you really want to do at the moment.
But you're going to learn from something.
Yes, there is something you must learn. Make sure you put in the best. Put in the work. The things you are learning right now might just be pivotal in your next move. Exactly. So do not trivialize anything that you are doing right now. whatsoever you, even the Bible said it, whatever you are find to do, right? So make sure you do it well. Don't say, oh, I'm being paid this, or maybe I'm working survival job, or maybe a minimum wage job, then you don't take the work seriously. No, take it seriously. Everything you are doing right now is preparing you
for the
next move. Okay?
I appreciate that, Osita. I know we've been having conversation that we're going to have this podcast, but thank God today you drove down here. I genuinely appreciate that. It's not easy, especially a lot of people will be like, can we do it virtual? I said I would prefer we do it in person.
Yeah.
I believe, we had fun in our conversation today.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate your time. I appreciate you coming here. I hope we're going to do more.
Absolutely. Thank you, Azeez.
Thank you so much, brother.
You are doing a great job, man. You are doing a great job. And